You know, I turned down $1 million from Jimmy Iovine, you know, and my brother was like, man, we need to take that money and go take over the hood. I'm like, no, man. It was a bad contract. You see what I'm saying? So you got to look at it. It was a 7-year deal I was signed. I could never use my name no more. Never had no rights to nothing that I had. And I sit down, Jimmy Iovine told me, look, I already got Suge Knight, I got Puffy. If I have you, I got the streets. And I'm like, man, I'll be right back. I'll get something to eat. I never came back. And he told me, he was like, man, you will never sell records in this town. Nobody will never pick you up. And so I started searching, like, how can I make my own deal? Then I started looking up. Michael Jackson was making the most money back then. He was making 22% a record, which that was a lot. Most artists was getting 7%, 14%. And I'm like, man, I gotta get that Michael Jackson money. You know what I'm saying? Being from the hood, I'm like, man, I gotta get that Michael Jackson. Like, this man on Neverland, Neverland, whatever. Like, I need something like that. You know, so I'm like, man, 22%, he got all that. So I couldn't get to Michael Jackson, I got to his lawyer. So I'm asking him, give me the game. You know, y'all gotta go to the OGs, go to the people around, people that had experience, that have been through this stuff already, and get the game from them. I mean, you had to pay for it. I got in the office, you know, and the guy always is a lawyer. And he said, man, you get $25,000, I'll talk to you. I'm like, back then in the 90s, $25,000? Boy, look at here. So I'm like, okay, I'll be back. I'm gonna come back, man. I'm gonna come see you, you know. And I come back real humble. Sir, I got my $25,000. Can I hold a conversation with you? And he was like, yeah, well, what you trying to do? So I gave him my money. And he said, you know, the only thing I could see that you could get bigger than Michael Jackson is a distribution deal. I said, a distribution deal? What is that? He said, well, you get 85 or 80% of the money, and the record company get like 15 or 20%. He said, but nobody never done that. So I don't think they're gonna, but you, to get that type of deal, you need $200,000 to market your project. I'm like, man, I just gave you $25,000.
What you say? I'm in the street, man. You bordering on that hustle territory.
I'm out there, you know what I'm saying? So I'm like, man, all right, yes, sir. I was trying to say, yes, sir. I'm gonna figure this out. So the record companies was coming after me, trying to sign ahead. You know, had a white guy come in the hood where I was at. He was like, I told my boy, I said, y'all know him? He said, nah, man, never seen him before. I said, that's the police. That's the police. So I'm like, man, I'm not talking to this dude. I went 2 years, man, I could have did this deal. I'm in the hood 2 years, man, scared of this white guy thinking he's the police. And I said, I could have been made it, man. So the dude finally got enough balls to come up to me and told my little partner, said, man, I'm from Priority Records. I said, Priority Records? Man, you should have, what you want, man? Man, I want to, you know, help you do your music. And I said, shit, the only way I can do that, I want a distribution deal. He said, distribution deal? I'm gonna call my boss. So he called his boss, and at that time, I think I had like 200 or 300. And so, you know me, I'm just straight up on some, I need a distribution deal. I don't know what it is or whatever. I didn't figure it out. I spent $25,000. That's what I need. I need a distribution deal. And when they came, the guy said, look, you got $200,000 marketing money. We'll do a distribution deal with you. I guess if I thought this guy here gonna get killed, he gonna go to jail. This ain't gonna even happen. You know, this probably ain't gonna last 2 months. So I went in there. They had Jay-Z at the time. They had Ice Cube, had NWA. They had the Ghetto Boys. All of them was on Project. So I walked down seeing all these. That's another thing. We gotta stop getting scared when we see all these other people that came before us. We just gotta realize that they made it, and that's what I want to be motivation to y'all, that y'all know. If I made it, you really could make it. Because at that time, New Orleans was the murder capital of the world. You know, I had just lost my brother to the streets, and I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do with my life. You know, I was playing basketball, that didn't work. Ended up getting hurt, going back to the hood hustling. And I'm like, but I always see, you know, all these big artists everywhere. And I'm like, man, you know, how am I gonna compete with them? And I know that my story was real because I'm living it every day, so I think you guys gotta take your story and believe in it when nobody else believes. Because at one time, man, you know, you ain't, no, you can't, that. Like, man, I ain't listening to none of that. That was motivation. I just thought I was the best. I know I was the best at what I did. I'm like, I looked at their contracts. So when I first got the project, I looked at all those guys' contracts. It was 7%, 8%, 9%, and I know none of those guys was making money. So that's what I thought I was gonna change. I said, I gotta change the way when people think about hip hop, they gotta think about us making money. And you know, whoever wanna be the best rapper in the world, that's cool. They could do that. But I need to get some of this bread because I want to be able to do something to change for my people. My people's hurting.
Now,
know?
Pete, when you went in, you signed the deal, you got the percentages that you wanted. You know, it was your brothers, you had a few other artists. At what point was you like, oh, they're gonna let me keep riding with this deal? I'm about to sign everybody around me with talent, and we gonna have a record out every week, and y'all gonna buy it.
That's right.
So what happened was, you know, I put the Ice Cream Man album out. They were telling you might sell 10,000 copies. At that time, a lot of artists were selling hundreds of thousands back then. Music was really selling. So I'm like, how can I make this record sell? So I got me a van, and I put No Limit on the side of it, and I hit every hood, and I got out like this. I'm going everywhere. Like I patted myself after the Avon lady, like this lady in the hood, old lady that was selling a Tupperware in the hood, and she'll get out of the car, and I'm like, man, I asked the old lady, I said, Minister, what you be doing with that stuff? I said, nigga, you better get out of my business. I'm like, Mom, I ain't tripping like that. I just wanted to know how you do it. See, oh, my shit legit. I said, okay. So I started thinking to myself, okay, she ride around in the hood like that and go sell her stuff, but I got to a couple places, right? So I pulled out, you know, cover the neighborhoods with gangs and all that stuff. So I'm in a blood neighborhood. I got a blue shirt on, an Ice Cream Man. I don't know. I'm like, man, look, fuck it up, Pete. Yeah, you know. But then let me tell you something. I wasn't from there, and they believed me because I was real about what I was. I said, man, look, man, I don't even know what's going on. I'm trying to sell these CDs. Dude had a shotgun to one dude said, man, this shit better be good, bro.
That's worse than no problem.
I said, man, let me get $20 for this thing. He said, man, I ain't got nothing but $10. Boy had a shotgun. I said, man, I take that tip, man.